Since his campaign in 2016, there's been a lot of attention on Donald Trump's connection with Russia. Personally, he's made his admiration for Russian President Vladimir Putin quite clear, and some of his administration members have either a long history of ties to the Russian state, pro-Russian views, or both. Back in August 2016, his campaign manager, Paul Manafort, resigned when it was revealed that he had been a paid consultant to Ukraine's pro-Russian former president. Since then, there have been allegations that the Trump campaign knew about Russia's hack of the election, improper contact with the Russian government, and even blackmail, resulting in several government investigations. In order to understand the scandals surrounding Trump and Russia, it's important to first distinguish the three main storylines. The first centers on Russia's interference in the US presidential election. The second revolves around former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, and the third concerns a private intelligence report that claims Russians are blackmailing Trump, known as the Steele dossier. Let's start with the first. In June 2016, WikiLeaks began publishing private emails hacked from the Democratic National Committee. At the time, Russia was the main suspect, but this remained unconfirmed. Emails from the hack continued to be leaked throughout the summer, always targeting the Clinton campaign.
Russia, if you're listening, I hope you're able to find the 30,000 emails that are missing. I think you will probably be rewarded mightily by our press.
In August 2016, close Trump confidant Roger Stone said he was in touch with WikiLeaks.
I actually have communicated with Assange. I believe the next tranche of his documents pertain to the Clinton Foundation, but there's no telling what the outcome.
On October 2nd, Stone sent a tweet appearing to show inside knowledge of an upcoming WikiLeaks publication targeting Clinton. On October 7th, WikiLeaks released the first batch of hacked emails from Clinton's campaign manager, John Podesta. Now, on the same day, a joint statement by Obama's National Security Advisor and the Department of Homeland Security officially declared that the DNC hacks were intended to interfere with the US election, and that they believed that only Russia's senior-most officials could have authorized these activities. On December 10th, Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Rybkov said that there were contacts with Trump's entourage throughout the election, and that quite a few have been staying in touch with Russian representatives. On January 6th, the CIA, FBI, and NSA together released a report confirming that Putin had ordered the attacks and intended to hurt the Clinton campaign specifically. On February 14th and 15th, phone records reportedly show that members of Trump's campaign and other Trump associates made frequent contact with Russian officials during their campaign. While US intelligence is still investigating Russian interference, the big unknown is, did the Trump campaign know about Russian hacks targeting Clinton? Now, the second scandal involves Trump's former National Security Advisor, Michael Flynn. It's related to the first because it begins on December 29th, when the Obama administration announced a series of new sanctions on Russia as punishment for its interference in the election. On the same day, Michael Flynn called Russian Ambassador Sergei Kislyak multiple times. Flynn was not in office yet, but has a long-standing relationship with Russia. On December 30th, Putin announced that they would not retaliate against the sanctions, a move that Trump publicly praised on Twitter. Now, this led some to suspect that the Trump administration was telling Russia that they would rethink the sanctions once they were in office. On January 12th, news of the Flynn calls broke. Press Secretary Sean Spicer and Vice President Mike Pence each told reporters that the calls were not about sanctions. On January 24th, Flynn told FBI investigators that he did not discuss sanctions in the phone call. Sometime in late January, Acting Attorney General Sally Yates told the White House legal counsel that she believed Flynn was lying to the Trump administration about what he talked about on the phone call with Kislyak, which would make Flynn potentially vulnerable to Russian blackmail. On February 9th, the Washington Post confirmed that Flynn had spoken about sanctions with Kislyak because the FBI had Kislyak's phone under surveillance. The report said Flynn urged Kislyak to not react to Obama's sanctions because the incoming Trump administration would be reconsidering them. On February 13th, Flynn resigned, saying he had given Pence and others incomplete information about his conversations with Kislyak. On February 16th, the House Intelligence Committee announced that it's including Flynn in its investigation of Russian interference in the US election. So at this point, the big unknown is whether Trump knew Flynn had reached out to Russia to discuss the sanctions. Finally, scandal number 3 is by far the most bizarre and the least confirmed. It begins sometime during the summer of 2016, when intelligence documents began circulating around the US intelligence community and media organizations. The documents were from a former British intelligence agent who was hired by Republicans and Democrats to investigate Trump. The documents claim Russia has information they could use to blackmail Trump. They also allege that Trump and Russia exchanged information during the campaign to hurt Clinton. On January 10th, BuzzFeed published the entire unverified report after CNN reported that Trump and Obama had been briefed on it. On February 10th, CNN reported that investigators had in fact verified a minor part of the report.
But now, multiple current and former U.S. law enforcement and intelligence officials tell CNN that intelligence intercepts of foreign nationals confirm that some of the conversations described in the dossier took place between the same individuals on the same days.
At this point, investigations into the report continue, and the question of whether Russia could blackmail Trump remains unanswered. These three scandals continue, and there are many unanswered questions. But what is clear is that the uncertainty surrounding Trump and Russia is not going to go away anytime soon.